Yeah, should we get into our director's dive then?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
To the Fincher
Right.
machine.
This is Director's Dive number 5. Welcome back. If you're keeping up with our Fincher, now we're plugging in the Mean Green Machine, fucking Panic Room.
Yeah, I saw your review on
Oh shit! I thought we were watching
funny.
Zodiac.
I'm just
sorry.
I want it. I want it.
The editor
That's
came
next,
in
though,
and
right?
he was like, "Hey, Mr.
So.
Fincher, how green do you want this?" And Fincher was just like, "Yeah, make it."
You know the
Do it.
Hulk?
He's like,
Yeah, that green.
"Well, but how green?" He's like, "Have you seen The Grinch? Have you seen The Grinch?" I don't know. Anyway,
His
that
skin
bothered me
pigment.
right off the bat.
Really?
Anyway, the Panic Room, or just Panic Room,
Choice.
sorry. Jodie Foster, Kristen
Yeah.
Stewart,
Young
Young
Kristen
Kristen
Stewart.
Whitaker,
Young ass.
Dwight Yoakam, Jared
Leto?
Some old
Cornrows
guy.
Jared Leto?
What a star-studded cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, those cornrows and Jared Leto. That was weird.
What a choice.
Another choice, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jared Leto, man.
Man,
What do you guys think?
how did you guys?
This is new for everybody, isn't it?
Yeah,
Personally,
no one's seen this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it. I guess like of the Fincher movies we've watched so far, I'm gonna put this at the bottom of my list.
Yeah.
Below Alien 3.
All right, it's tied with Alien 3 for now.
Wow.
Right there.
Okay.
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 I don't know about the rest of you. I don't know.
Let's go
No,
around
I
real
gotta
quick.
feel that.
Round robin.
Nona?
I didn't rank it, but yeah, if I had to give it a ranking right now, probably like 3 stars. Not,
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not my favorite of his.
Matt?
Yeah, I thought this was pretty good. It's definitely not perfect. It's definitely not that great.
Very contained.
It's middle Fincher. It's definitely better than the game. 100% better than the game, I'd say.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Because I would put the game ahead of this. I don't know.
Really?
I feel like
Yeah, it's fair.
maybe it's because I wasn't paying attention as much as I should have been. But like, I feel like there were just so many things about the story that were just like too convenient.
Like the guy who built the safe coming to rob the safe, or what? That's too
Maybe.
convenient for you?
I'm
Well,
with you
look,
there. This is
For one,
below
how
the
many
game
home
TV as well.
invasions actually happen?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
I
I
mean,
don't know the
yeah,
stats.
there probably happen more than I think. But like, I guess like just like
This is 2002.
statistically, your
Joe,
house.
also.
Your house, yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know, just like statistically, like your house getting broken into, and then also like the odds of like your house getting broken into the first night you move in, and you also have a panic room, and your daughter is also diabetic and needs insulin at the same time
Which
that
is
your
just fucking
house is
thrown
getting
in
broken
there,
into.
by the way.
Right after
Yeah.
you've moved in. Like,
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
mean, like, I'm not a diabetic, but like, did they explain why she needed her insulin, like in the middle of the night? Was it just because she was like anxious
like,
or in her blood
using a lot
sugar
of
like
energy, I guess,
spiked or
yeah.
something?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like otherwise, there would be no reason why she would have needed her insulin in this situation,
Mm.
which was kind of a big part of the movie.
Yeah, this
There's
movie
a lot of-
sucked. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad.
I
Glad
I
somebody's
was
on my
so
side.
pissed off when they're all 3 of the Yahoos are down on the 3rd floor, and they're trying the busted ass phone of Jodie Foster,
Mm.
and then doesn't think, hey, I'm gonna run out and get the phone that's on the fucking charger. Instead, she waits till they're all upstairs, and she's like, oh, let me go grab this phone out here, and risks it all to run out and get this fucking phone, make a bunch of fucking racket, not look under, like, even try to reach for the phone. She's just like, I'm gonna look this way and reach the opposite direction and try to get this phone.
shit.
Flashing
constant,
light
like-
outside of this fucking thing, they finally get the guy's attention, and instead of continuing to flash the light, they throw the light to the side and then start shouting. It's like, what? Are you fucking joking me? I don't know. The amount of times Jodie Foster's character just made stupid decisions.
Yeah,
Was,
just for the convenience of
mind-blowing.
the story. Like,
Yeah.
I
I
thought she
feel
made
like-
smarter decisions than the fucking robbers, obviously. So
that is
No.
true.
I disagree.
what? Like
Forrest
what?
Whitaker-
Okay, the one dumb decision that I was like, "Holy fuck!" That broke reality for me is when she lit the gas coming into the fucking room. Because I was like, "Wouldn't that just explode you all?" Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe not, but because it all just like captured at the top and then zoomed out through the vents or whatever. But I didn't really. What other moments? Because I couldn't really pinpoint
The phone
specific like.
moment, the flashing the light
They're all
moment,
they're all
the
downstairs.
diabetic moment. Sorry,
The diabetic moment.
When
Well,
the
like,
daughter
that-
just
she
is
had to leave.
miraculously diabetic, so they have to have a reason for him to get out of the panic room.
Well, yeah, I mean that's just screenwriting. I mean, the person who wrote this,
I
was
guess like that's
a
what I
writer for
meant.
hire kind
Like
of
what I
guy.
was gonna say, I guess, like it happened in the game a lot, where you just put things in, like as conveniences to make it more like like to build suspense, and I feel like that's like kind of a shitty way of going about making a thriller. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you set a premise like this though, and you aren't really allowed a lot of like room to do much else. I think like the biggest weaknesses I got from this movie are the like intercutting of like pace, because like a lot of the times when they're like running, they should be able to get up the stairs, but to meet, it's like the things weren't checking out geographically for me, you know, even though like the whole house was basically mapped out for you.
You mean the
The
structure?
timing.
Yeah.
What's
Did-
that?
You mean the structure of the house didn't match up?
No, the structure and the geography, I was like, okay, you walked me through the house, you got me through the elevator, you know, like all this shit. You set up the panic room, set up the panic room. You know what I'm saying? Like with dialogue and setup, it's like all there. It's just like when the running breaks out, the pace immediately becomes disjointed, because like they're like running and then they stop at the bottom of the stairs because they're like listening. And it's like, because they need a little more time for Jodie Foster to do a little bit in this room, you know, it's like, that's what got me. It's
They're,
like that's
hitting each other.
what's
Real.
up.
They're just like up the stairs, you know. I mean, like it's like 10 steps up.
Yeah.
The stairs.
It's like, why did you stop? Yeah, no, it's like you just needed time, and you needed that timing to work out. So those are the only real big weaknesses. There's character weaknesses throughout, but a lot of this movie was like pretty coherent, and the characters felt a little more fleshed out than most just standard suspense movies for me. And I cared about a lot about the two main protagonists. I thought they were pretty good, honestly. The people robbing them, yeah, you know.
I actually like I liked Jared Leto in this movie, guys.
He was doing it.
He was doing his thing, as
Smoking
weird
crack.
and yeah,
Shit.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like he did a good job with the part he needed to play. Yeah.
right.
Right.
Like he played the chaotic fucking like dumbass
So, like,
asshole.
What actually was in that safe that they were trying to get in the panic room?
Money?
It's like money bond,
like,
or like
I guess
Yeah.
like was that Jodie Foster's or from the other
It's
person?
Jared Leto's
owner.
relative. I think it was his dad
Right.
or his granddad that he was going to
He's
inherit
gonna
the money
inherit,
from,
right.
but he wanted it
like,
all.
That's right.
I guess I didn't know why that was still in the panic room if it wasn't like Jodie Foster's. Like
it was
why?
a secret compartment or whatever that they didn't know about or some shit.
Yeah.
Whoever cleaned out the house.
But why
I
would
guess-
Jared Leto know about it if he's the fuck up? Like who
Yeah,
his
His
uncle
old
just
grandpappy
trusted
told him.
right.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Crack
Like, I
addict.
get like
He's a crackhead. He'll find a way.
Like you need them to get into the panic room for some reason. So like I understand like why they did that. And like that makes sense. It makes it a more thrilling movie that they actually need to get in the panic room and they're not just like trying to murder the people. But yeah, I feel like that probably could have been down a little.
Yeah. I mean, that's where the convenience kind of kicks in for me, because when you first learn that Forrest Whitaker is like the guy who made the safe, a lot of like bells were ringing of like, why? Like, why is he here? Like, why is he trusting this clear shithead, a dumbass? Like, when he's the smart guy I'm supposed to be following, you know? Like,
Yeah.
so that the blurring of that kind of, I feel a little bit of that, but
Yeah, I mean, I think that's you guys kind of touched on before with the pacing and like things moving weirdly, and yeah, it's the same with the game. It's like when characters aren't like moving the plot forward, but the plot has to move forward, so then the characters move. It's like it just doesn't work for me.
yeah, it's not as impactful.
Yeah,
Just, it felt like the whole time they were in the panic room, Jodie Foster just wasn't thinking. And then when she was outside of the panic room, she's like, all right, I'm going to knock out all these things. I'm going to do this, that. I'm going to break the mirror so I know, where they're at when they're walking. I don't know. It just felt.
I mean, like also though, I guess like if you're just some random person in this situation, I mean, like how would any of us react? I mean, like we might make some stupid decisions too. I mean, like
Yeah, and that's why like the
We're just
tracking of it was all kind of there as
Yeah,
like
but-
you have limited options this whole time, and these are the things you have to like.
mhm.
I feel
I don't
like
know. Any of us could make mistakes in the same situation. You know
I
what
also
I mean? Like,
yeah.
I just don't even see like a lot of mistakes though either. That's what I'm like kind of like
I
wondering.
get that, but like the first thing I thought when she was staring at them in the monitor and they were all three talking downstairs about what they're gonna do, the first thing I thought was, why didn't she just open the door, get the phone, and go back in the panic room? You know? So that's why I was.
I mean,
they were-
like,
Well, she had when they were talking all downstairs. When was this?
Yeah.
Was that when
Those
she
were
runs
when we
out?
before-
first got there.
Yeah,
right
when
at
they-
the
yeah.
beginning, and she got her
When they're like
daughter
banging underneath and shit, trying to
Yeah,
break the floor.
and they
Like,
were
why would
like-
you not do it then?
plotting, and they were like 2 stories beneath them or 1 story beneath them. She could have just ran out, got the phone then. That's why I was like, why didn't
Yeah.
she do it then? Why did she choose when they're right
Like-
outside her fucking door when she can't even see one of them? She was like getting ready to open the door, like, no.
Yeah.
I will say too, like it didn't even like really matter when she did get the phone because she didn't get service in the panic room. So like
Yeah.
I guess like you could have thrown that in at any point to build suspense. So
No,
I
for
mean
sure.
like
I kind of was disappointed at that moment because as a like what this movie clearly was like a writer trying to hit dramatic moments, I was waiting for her to get locked out of the panic room and like be hiding outside and they don't know she's out of the
Yeah.
panic room. I was waiting for like
Especially
a little
after they
more.
Lock the
Mhm.
house down. It's like-
Right. So she's trapped now outside and they don't know that. A little I mean, I don't know. She gets out, gets all the drama from that juicy moment and then gets back in the panic room. So it's kind of disappointing on that end for me a little bit, but
I just
Yeah.
also, I mean, I know this is way back when, and maybe cell phones weren't the same, but you can still make an SOS call even when you don't have service. So
yeah, I don't care about that. I mean, you're in a panic room that's like clearly like both like
I-
boxed up.
well like you want to
Yeah.
elaborate a little bit on that I guess?
I'm pretty sure
Like even back in
when-
the day, could you make an SOS call
that's what
from
I
any
don't know.
phone?
I don't know if it was different back then,
Nokia.
but I know if we don't have service now, you can still make an SOS call.
Look, I mean realistically, she's got a cordless phone, right?
Yeah.
So at the time in 2002 or whatever, for those cordless phones, they have a base like somewhere in the house.
Right. Which
So
was
like,
right outside the room.
well, like yeah, but if it can't connect to the base, even then you're not going to be able to get any signals out at all.
True.
So like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that would actually work. I still don't think that would
She
work.
just didn't know, was it a cell phone or was it a home phone?
I thought it was a home phone.
That was a cell phone.
I
thought it
Oh,
was
yeah?
the phone that she
Cell
was
phones to me,
charging.
but-
That's
Shit,
why I
but then
thought.
maybe. Shit, I don't know.
I just think the whole phone situation. You buy a fucking like a fucking sweet ass pad like that in New York with a panic room. Like, well, why would you not set up the phone in there? Yeah, like that would be the first fucking thing
Gotta
you
save
lock.
a
I mean,
couple
that-
pennies where you can, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like the gripes I keep hearing are about like setups of like script work. You know,
Okay,
it's like
Yeah.
How about this gripe? So they take the time when they're showing the house. Also, their realtor is just a straight up bitch. I mean, just your realtor screaming at your child.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
granted, yeah, she shouldn't be riding the scooter, but that's not for the realtor to do. Anyway, but he takes the time, the other realtor, and he's like, "Don't worry." He sticks his hand in front of the door and it stops the door. Dwight Yoakam gets his fucking fingers severed off. Like, why would you take the time to show us that you can stop the door with your hand at any moment, and then Dwight Yoakam's hand is like caught in the door? That must be-
Reasons. Yeah.
Convenience.
Yeah.
I just
I'm assuming he
I
missed
don't know.
laser or whatever the fuck.
It never popped up except for when they're getting into the panic room. She moves the pillows so the door will close. That's the only time it popped up to where it mattered that there was something in front of the door. Otherwise, Dwight Yoakam's fingers just got fucked.
So I guess
I
like
thought
what
that
else?
moment
Like
was
you
so
guys,
different.
like what other good things did you like about this movie? Not that I'm trying to shit on him. I mean, I guess I'm just trying to get away from just shitting on this movie.
For sure.
Yeah, I thought the camera work was pretty solid. There
Me
was some
too.
fun stuff that they were doing cinematically. That was cool. There's like a lot of like hidden cuts early
Yeah.
on. I remember just like that
Mhm.
one that's kind of going through the levels of the house and like, when they first break in and she's laying in bed and it twists and like that kind of stuff. I
He was
thought
definitely
like
having fun.
good decisions there. Yeah, kind of.
But this is like the first taste of like his actual style, I'd say, kind of for me, where it's like very smooth, very free flowing, or it's just on
Mhm.
sticks, like almost no shaky cam. I don't think in this movie,
Yeah.
and that's
No,
Fincher's
yeah.
doesn't really go for that after a while. So I was seeing a lot of like first flavors of like
Yeah,
choice
sure.
here.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's
felt
cool.
intentional. Yeah.
And some of those shots too, you can see Fincher kind of messing with CGI a little bit in this
Yeah.
movie. There's like the phone on the floor and like the gun it's like they're pretty
Oh,
decent
yeah.
shots. And with the one shot you're talking about, Noah, where it's like 1917 cutting basically, where it's just like moving one
Yeah.
shot and then it's
From
blending the next shot.
keyhole through the coffee
Yeah.
pot up the
That was
Yeah.
sick.
That
That was
cool.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, through
Yeah.
the kitchen. Yeah, that was sweet.
For sure.
I like that one a lot.
And I think the major highlight for me, that what brought this one home for me, like I said before, was that the character writing was a little bit more impactful than some other suspense or like home invasion movies that I've seen.
Yeah, I kind of liked. I don't know. I thought Forrest Whitaker's arc, or like I don't know, his character development, I guess, or if you want to call it that, was actually like pretty okay. I mean, like him actually like turning, because like right off the bat, you know that he's not there to hurt anyone. He just wanted what was in the safe, and he didn't expect anybody to be there. So like, I kind of liked at the end how he kind of like saved them, because like I don't know, he turned out he's just like some dude, like he just happens to be a burglar, you know, but he's not trying to like hurt people, you know.
The last shot you see of him before that moment is like him slipping, trying to like run, like his foot slips off like the pavement, and then the next time you see him is in the house. He's decided to come back, and I thought that was pretty effective, like just to get there. And the ending for him, fucking Kubrick reference, you know, like it. I mean, that was like the killing, basically, the whole ending. So,
oh shit,
that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I just want to get into like why I liked the two character, like the Jodie Foster, Kristen Stewart dynamic was super solid, and I was kind of worried that Kristen Stewart wouldn't be able to like. I was just worried I was going to be taken out with her performance, but it actually helped.
Where did she go wrong? I feel like she became so bland as an actress, and in this one, I was like,
I think she's a pretty good actress still.
She got the chops.
She's good. She's got
a
the
Twilight
personality.
Stink. That's all.
Right.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, that's soured me for her. Yeah.
It's just like Pattinson. Just a Twilight Stink, but that dude, best actor of his
come out the other side.
True.
Yeah.
True.
But just like their dynamic, it's like you can see some of the things that they're both struggling with because they're like related, or like they both have the same issues of like anxiety or like handling their emotions and stuff like that. The first moment of writing that got me was when she pours the Coke for her, and they have like a little cheers moment. It's like these two are kind of like equals. That I don't know. It was a lot of like work here, where she's like, don't worry, Mom, they don't bury people alive anymore. It happened a long time ago. And she's like, really? It's like 20 years ago. It's like years ago. That's like not a long time ago for Jodie Foster, but that's a real line. You know what I'm saying? Like a kid would think that, you know. So like that's kind of the things I latched onto as far as like, it's doing a lot better than like I expected here, you know. So
my highlights were Kirsten Stewart and Jodie Foster's dynamic, which was good. Jodie Foster's character made a lot of stupid decisions, but their dynamic together was pretty good. And Dwight Yoakam was fucking awesome in this movie.
I liked him a lot.
Really
His
good.
presence added a lot,
Fucking
just in
Raoul,
general.
man.
Fuck are you?
Raoul. Yeah, it was fucking. Yeah. The only other thing I've seen Dwight Yoakam in is Sling Blade. So
I've seen him in Wilfred, final season of Wilfred, and that was kind of it. So
Never finished that show. I should.
it's a good show, man. I like that show.
those were the highlights for me. Just I guess, like you said, the characters were like at least the saving grace. It's just the story, what they had to do to get it to certain places was just like it could have been done better. Like the flashlight thing really pissed me off. Like, why would you stop flashing the flashlight and start screaming? No one's gonna fucking hear you. Also, for a safe room to have so many potential exits, like why would you put the wiring and stuff just right outside behind drywall? Like that's your weakest point to get into the safe room, and you're just gonna put it behind some drywall and a pipe that goes straight outside in your safe room.
Obvious.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
The thing that got me was
So
it's
over.
like the whole time they can't communicate with inside the panic room, but then like 3/4 of the way in, there's a intercom button that goes into the panic room, and Forrest Whitaker made the panic room.
Right. Yeah.
So like
he said he can't hear you, man. Yeah.
he doesn't know that. Like, that got me, but.
Yeah, because he's the one who specifically says that she can't
do
hear
it.
you.
Yeah.
The guy who fucking installed it. But
Yeah,
but
I also
Jodie
think-
Foster figured out how to do it. So
Yeah, the robbers were, I think, supposed to be incompetent a little bit too, though. Like that's part of the shtick.
That's Jared Leto's whole thing. I feel like. Yeah.
Like they could have smashed the cameras. That was like one of the first things you would think of, and they didn't.
glad-
Honestly,
they said that in the like when Dwight Yoakam looked up, it's like, why didn't we fucking do that? It's like, thank
Right.
you. At least you realize you're
Yeah.
stupid. Jodie Foster
Right.
hasn't come to Jesus yet, but she'll figure it out. But
Yeah, because like they, I don't know. Yeah, I think all around, like you guys are saying, the characters were probably the best part of this movie. Yeah, I think like those things that we were talking about, like conveniences just to move the plot forward. I think like realistically, there's just not that much you can do with this plot. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
like I think they
It's
did
tough.
the best with what they had or could do. You know, like I mean,
Yeah.
It's just a
I don't
very
know.
contained suspense that
Like,
really
I-
doesn't have a lot of avenues for
like
it.
even
know,
if you
so.
swapped out some of these like situations with other things to get to the same place, like I don't even think it would have been any better. I think it still would have turned out about the same. You know,
I feel like
That's fair.
I mean, I get that the panic room is the central focus because I mean, it's the name of the movie. But like the house was so big, it could have been more of like a cat and mouse type thing too. Like the whole idea of listening to the footsteps was kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
But like you said, Matt, it just took out the suspense when they were like 3 steps away and they would take the time to listen and then go. It's just it could have been used better to where,
Mhm.
like I said, it could have been more of a cat and mouse where they're trying to escape, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Big ass house, and we're stuck in a little ass panic room. So
Yeah. I think this is one movie that was probably sold on like, I mean, it's 2002, so this is kind of more of like maybe people were talking about panic rooms more, honestly, but also like the words panic room that like sold this movie, I think, you know, like,
Yeah.
so really you have to build out from that. And that's probably what we're all kind of experiencing, you know? So,
Mhm.
I mean, it's not as bad as Alien, but
no.
honestly, I think I don't know. Between this and the game, I don't know which one's worse at this rate. I think
Wow,
the game.
so you're putting the game below Alien 3.
No. Oh, sorry. No,
No.
Alien 3 is below the lowest. That's the bar.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
Because
then
like,
the panic room and game both kind of piss me off in terms of like
Yeah.
it just with the game it was like who I think I've said this you they make you commit suicide and you offer to pay the bill. It's like giving them the bullet to the gun they're gonna shoot you with. Anyway, that's just silly. So I don't know. I guess the game might be lower than Panic Room at this point. That one just makes my blood boil.
I think it's a little bit worse for me, but that's just me.
Yeah.
This one, I mean, this one's like tighter. You know, it's like more premise based and like execution based. So like,
Yeah.
I guess it's a little better.
Altogether, it was definitely a cooler one. I mean, like I said, he was just having fun with the camera, so it was at least exciting in that respect as well. Just the cool one-ers that he was doing. So
Some stuff to take away, but
yeah.
no, I
Sponsored by Sony as well. If you guys didn't notice.
Evian water.
Yeah.
yeah.
Every time you see a camera or a TV, it's like Sony. Like
I mean,
Sony.
Sony does make some good shit.
Hey, sponsored by Sony, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Sorry.
Yeah. I
Like, all my
give it like
headphones
3.5. I think it's like
Really?
it's not great. It's not terrible. You know, it's pretty good.
I can't
So
remember if I put 2 or 2.5.
I'm probably gonna give it 2.5.
Yeah, somewhere.
But
around
that's
there.
just me.
Fair
I have
enough.
Alien at 2, the game at 2.5, and this at 3. I think that's I don't know. That seems fair to me.
We're moving on up, and then we'll see what he can do next.
Or I'm
Zodiac,
the fuck off. Yeah.
I'm hoping that like all this hype isn't gonna like bring Zodiac down for me a little bit, but we'll,
I refuse to let
take
it.
a movie. Yeah, all right.
This
It's gonna
movie-
capture me, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's so good.
Again.
Fucking awesome.
There's a
All right, well,
bit of a
yeah.
hiatus,
Cat and
isn't
mouse,
there, between
Alex.
this one and Zodiac.
Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 years, I
Yeah.
think.
Oh yeah, because
Maybe-
Zodiac, I'm pretty sure it's 2007,
Yeah,
Mm.
and this was
and this one was
2002.
2002.
Yeah.
2002. So maybe he had to take a little refocus here and kind of
Yeah.
Yeah,
his next
Yeah.
career
You
path.
guys nailed it where it's like fucking skyrocket, fantastic, stinker.
Crazy, man.
You know,
It's just hit or miss. Yeah.
yeah.
In order perfectly to be like
Yeah.
the wave.
It's weird.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, join us next week to talk some Zodiac. It's going to be a fun talk. So
Yeah.
thanks for watching.
Like, comment, and subscribe, you dirty bastards, if you haven't already.
We know who you
Sorry,
are.
I shouldn't call our audience dirty bastards, but
They know.
Hey, Disney's been doing it for a long time,
They know.
and it's kind of working
Yeah.
for them, I think. So
yeah, underhandedly, yeah, they have.
Are we going back into the dunk segment?
No, I can't go back in the corner. I can't go back in the
It's too
corner.
dumb.
yeah, can't do it no more.